Hey guys, this is Chodaros Designs, Chodaros Bling, and we have another jump ring bracelet by our favorite Suzanne HB. And this one is almost identical to her When I Say Jump, the latest tutorial that I put out. And the only difference is basically we have two single chain stitches, in between each jump ring. So, and you use, it's made for larger jewelry rings. So as you can see, you have that basic fishtail kind of a stitch. It is a little bit different than a fishtail. It's actually quite pretty, huh? On the back. And so it will fit quite nicely, and it's very loose and airy. So, like I said, you could use any size jump ring. I would go with maybe 8mm and up. These are 10mm. I believe Suzanne in her original design used 14mm size jump ring. So again, this one is basically for a larger ring. If you have smaller rings, then when I say jump, please check out that tutorial, as that one will fit your needs better. So I think about 31 of these is what I will use. Maybe not so. Let's see, I didn't have enough to do a full wrap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is 10, so maybe about 20, a little bit over 20 for a wrap, because they are large and they're not overlapping that much. So let's grab some bands and some rings and we'll get started. Okay, so these are the jump rings that were in the little rendition I just showed you. I don't have enough for a full wrap, so I needed to take that apart so I could show you. So these are a 10mm heavy gauge jump ring, which means heavy gauge, they're thick, and you can't move them with your hands or your fingers. You need pretty much jewelry pliers to bend them apart, open up the hole. So one thing I do want to caution you with, I know I have a couple here, like this one here. I did get my jewelry pliers out and try to close up that gap, and I couldn't quite close it up. That's as far as I could go. I didn't want to disfigure the roundness of the ring. But you want to make sure that if you do have jump rings, that you get that hole closed up as far as you can. And the reason being, if you should make your bracelet and pull on it, every time, obviously, whenever you stretch out a band, it thins out and it'll go right through that. So you need to be very cautious about that, so that way whenever you're finished, your bracelet doesn't fall apart. Alright, so we are going to start out with a cap band. So we're just going to wrap that around like so. And then we're just going to put our jump ring on our hook. And if you have made the When I Say Jump bracelet, it is exactly the same, except we're adding another single chain. But if you have not made that bracelet, all we're doing is pulling the jump ring on top of a new band and then just closing it up. And what makes this bracelet different than that one is that we're going to go ahead and do another single chain. So we're just pulling another fresh band through the last, keeping our cap band over to the left of our hook. Once you have 2 chains onto your jump ring, just simply pull the cap band up and over your hook and down next to that ring like that. So that's what you're left with. So then we just repeat. So we add before we repeat, we want to take and put that jump ring back up on our hook. So we have 2 loops, our jump ring attached to our bands, and now we're going to add on our next jump ring. So we're just going to again pull a band through that open jump ring, keep your finger on this back here to keep it separated, and then just close it up like that. And then we just want to add one more band to make a single chain just on the right part here. So then we just pull that through and close it up. So we have our jump ring down here, and once we have our 2 chains, this is the point where we can take the existing jump ring, pull it up and over our hook and bands, and take these existing 2 loops on the left and pull those up and over as well. So that's what we'll have, and then the jump ring that is in your hand, we're just going to simply put that one back up on our hook. So as we're building onto this bracelet, these loops on our jump rings are going to get tighter, a little bit tighter, but the rings that are closest to your hook, like this one is tight and then this one is loose, that's normal. So if you have that, don't worry. Okay, so then we just grab our next jump ring, add it to our hook, keep our hand on this existing part on the left, and then just pull a new band through this jump ring, close it up. And then we want to chain 1. Like so. After you have 2 single chains through your jump ring, then we're going to take and slide the left part, everything on your hook, up and over. So I'm using silicone rainbow loom bands, so I might have to do a little bit of untwisting of bands in the end, but I wanted to use the thicker bands. Okay, so now we just add our next chain or jewelry ring, pull that up and over, that, and then chain 1 more, like that, and then close it up. So you can see, as I mentioned, the further away you get from the start, it tightens up these bands that are on your jump rings, and then the one closest to your hook is a little bit loose because we're working with that one now. But that's what you should have. So I'll go a little bit faster. Move this one over. Move this one over, 2 single chains. And then everything on your hook up and over and close it up. Trying not to twist my bands, so I'm kind of like, you know, rocking my hook back and forth so these bands don't get twisted. I just have a couple rings left, so I'll go ahead and do as far as I have. Pretty simple, and it comes out really pretty. Okay, I have 2 left. You want to pull this one down to your second band. Then it tightens it up on the ring right there. Okay, and I have one more. And that is the end of my stock. So this is as far as I'm just going to go, as far as I'm going to go for the tutorial. So I'm just going to take one extra band, pull it through the top here, and then just do a slip knot. And that's the place where you would add your C-clip right there. And then at the beginning, we added our cap band. So you should have your extra band down here where you can clip it. So that will include the tutorial for this super awesome design. I love it with the big rings. And I'm just kind of moving my bands to the center like that. Okay, so a big shout out to Suzanne again. Thank you so much for another great design. She's pretty good about pulling 5 or 10 out a day. So, and this is what it looks like. So many options. As I said in her last tutorial, you could even add beads to your jump ring on both sides, or dangles. Plenty of things that you can do. I did try to bead one of the bands on the last one. You could actually get away with possibly putting a bead in between each jump ring, because we're doing 2 single chains. So the second chain that you add, you might want to see if you can put a bead onto that band, and maybe that bead, I'm assuming right there where you see that, you'd be able to, that bead would stick out. So there we go. Simple as that. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure that you do hashtag your renditions to Suzanne and I, which Crazy Just Might Work on Instagram. We'd love to see what you guys come up with. Thanks again. Bye-bye.